Quick video today is going to show you how to use a gateway block to enable turn on and off reading of tags that you don't want to be polling all the time. Just maybe some tags you want to read once an hour, once every 8 hours, something like that. So what I've got going on here in this pre-built example is I've got a SCADA program I've written here with a couple different display pages. One showing what I call the real tags, and another one showing what I call the internal tags. And what I've done here over on communications, I've basically set up a protocol one Modbus master talking to a tank device. I've got something out here that's a tank that is IP address 192.168.1.80, and underneath there I've got a gateway block. You can always add a gateway block by clicking on the device on the left side here, and then if you take the slider bar over here on the right and just go ahead and slide down a little bit, and all the way on the bottom right here is the word gateway block. You can click on that and that will create a new block like you see here. And so what I'm doing on this block is I've got 4001 holding register to 4005, and as you see as I click on different devices, notice the arrow right here. If you look at the arrow right here, it's going to take whatever happens in these registers and put it into these registers here, which are internal registers within the Redline HMI. But the important thing here is on the block, you see down here where I said request control, and I got this thing called complex control. Well, if I hit the complex or hit the edit button here, it'll show the code. You see that I actually have two tags. I have a read now tag that if I manually turn it on or off, it will be doing this all the time. And then I have another one that's basically on a timer selection, will execute that function. So let me show you how this works. So I'm going to go over here to display pages, and you can see this is the main page here. If I click on this one, this is what the other page looks like. Now since I got the web browser working, let me go ahead and fire that up and I'll show you what it looks like here. So there's the one screen, and then here's the tank, that's the other guy. So as you can see on the tank, if I happen to change the values here, notice over here that I've got a bunch of different points here that this is the actual same number that should be coming from right here. Use my arrow tool. This number right here is the same as what's down here. And then the other ones, I'm just adding some offset number to them just to make them look a little different. But as I change this, you can see that they change instantly. Well, when you put a tag on a Redline screen, we pull that thing whenever that display is up for view. But if you navigate somewhere else, the HMI doesn't waste resources pulling those tags unless you're actually looking at them, or if you're doing data logging or something else in the background. But generally, we only request data from the tags when they are displayed in front of the operator, because really that's usually the only time we need to see that data. So over here, if I click on the sample on demand button here, and I'll pull this up in the background, you can see here there's these are the raw internal tags, and these are some other tags here, but nothing gets updated until I hit the start polling. So let me hit this button here, and you'll see that these all get updated now. And of course, if I go over to the tank and go ahead and change these, you'll see that they change accordingly. But here's something I learned about this that kind of made me a little mad, if you will. The tags in Redline, let me go to the application here. The data tags that are internal, if you look here, they only have an option of either a signed integer or floating point. I can't make them an unsigned integer. And why is that a big issue for me? Well, here's why. If I go back to the page here, and I go ahead and show the data logger, it's okay when I go up to 32,767, but when I roll over to that number, say here I got 35,000 as the raw number coming in, well, if you look what Redline does, it makes it a signed integer and starts to go from negative 32,000 back down to 0. Watch, when I get all the way to the top, I'm all the way at 0, but really, I'm going 0 to 65,535 here, as you can see. So that posed a little bit of a problem for me. So what I did to accomplish the problem, or to get around that problem of that negative number, is over here in the SCADA program, I basically wrote a very simple C program that basically says here, let me see if I can see it here. I basically ask the question, if the tag is greater than 0 and less than 32,767, then I have it return the internal the same value to it. No big deal there. But the second I roll over and I become a negative 32,767 or 766, that tells me I'm at the halfway point and I'm starting to go down. So then what I do is I say, all right, then in that case, I take 32,767 and I add it to 32,767 plus the minus, this actually number is minus, which allows me to count up to the 65,535. And I basically run this program in the background once a second for this little example. So if I go back here to the page, just to show you the web page again here. So once I get to right here, you can see it cranking away, working good. Now, the other thing that the application wanted to do, let me go ahead and turn off the polling. The real purpose of this example is I want to have this set up such that at some interval, the HMI screen will pull the data and then turn off. So you can see here that I've got a my minute thing going right here. And of course, I'm showing right here the clock within the HMI as it is right now today. And so what I've got, let me go show you the programming part before I do this. Over here on data tags, I've got a flag tag over here on the left. I've got a flag tag, and I named it read on minute selection. So let me show you what to do here. So read on minute selection. On the data tab for it, I've got a simple formula here, guys. Very simple program. Basically says, hey, it gets the minute now, and whenever it equals the same minute, this tag right here will go on. This tag will be on the whole time that the my minute equals what the current minute is in the hour. And the minute and the hour can go between 0 to 59, and of course after 59, it rolls over back to 0. It's the next hour. So over here in the communications where my gateway block's executing, you can see right here, again, that complex code, edit. It's either doing the manual button, which is this guy right here, or here's that timer, read on minute selection. So if I go back to the program, just to show you how this works, I actually have it working. So I'll pull up that guy, and I'll pull up this guy. And you can see here I can change the values right now. And of course, nothing's happening here because right now I'm not actually polling it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and, if you notice, 212 is the next minute. I'm going to go ahead and change the minute here to 12. Notice I put in a barrier right here, 0 to 59. So I've set that to 12. So what should happen here in about 10 seconds, is this thing should go to polling, go to green. And as I start changing this, you should start to see these values here change. Let's see what happens here. Ready? Let's see what happens here, guys. Boom. Look at there. Look at it. Follow it just perfectly. Oh, just want to make you cry, don't it? Look at that, folks. Look at that. Now, I don't know if I can delay this. I'm going to delay it for a second. I'm going to wait for this thing to get to, now I just have you watch. Keep doing this. Because I want to show you what happens at 2:13 when that minute doesn't equal this. It should automatically stop pulling. So, you know what we can do here? We can do this. We can hold this button down right here, and you'll notice the AI probe number just keeps incrementing. So we'll just have that. Check it out. I wish I'd figure out a way to make that faster, but that's as quick as it's going to do today. And we'll go back down here. Flash. No big deal. It's cranking away. It's looking good. Perfect. All right. So in 10 seconds, I'm going to make this guy keep changing, so those numbers keep changing once a second. It should shut off here at 2:13. Let's see what happens. Here we go. Drum roll. Look at there. 2:13, it's shut off, and the manual poll is now done. It will not do this again until 3:12 or 4:12 or whatever the increment is. So I'm just using that function right now, the GetNow, based on what time, to have this poll. You could also have this be based on the hourly poll, so forth. So it's a pretty cool function to have it just go out and automatically grab data. In this case, once an hour, and it's going to grab it for 1 minute, and then after that minute, it's done. So if you have a variable or some kind of tank thing that doesn't change that much, to be honest with you guys, if you're sitting there polling it for 1 minute, it's not going to change that dramatically much. It's perfectly fine to have this thing run it for 1 minute. Now, you could go get fancier and have it only pull it for 10 seconds and turn it off. No big deal. But just thought I'd show this off as a cool demo. Hey, Thanks a lot. Checking out my videos.